For a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. Today is Tuesday, so that can only mean one thing. On air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show everyone's talking about. Hope you guys are doing well. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, March 10th. It is 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Did they say 1 o'clock or one? It's 1 o'clock, right? I said 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock on Tuesday. So hope you guys are doing well. Hey, this is the monologue part of the show, right? So I'm gonna do the monologue. I'm gonna talk about whatever, and then I just want to make sure all my platforms are working like they're supposed to be. Okay, or I'm live on all the platforms. So the platforms I should be live on are as follows: LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Okay, so I just clicked on Instagram to make sure it is going. Okay, Instagram is going. Okay, hello to the people on Instagram. Hello to the people on Facebook, YouTube, as well as LinkedIn. Comments are open, so feel free to go into the chat and just chat it up real quick. Say, hey, what's going on? But only thing, I only have one requirement if you come into the chat. Let me know where you're located. I don't need addresses, nothing like that. I don't want phone numbers. I don't even want your email. Just let me know what city that you're in, wherever in the world. I would appreciate it. I'm just trying to, kind of gauge. Sometimes you got to do your own market research, right? You want to see where people are chiming in from. So it's important, right? It's important that we know where people are coming in. Well, it's important to me. I don't know about other people, but it's important to me. Say, check this out. So, the monologue is just talk about anything. I just want to make sure that I'm live. You can hear me. I can see you. You can see me. All that kind of stuff. So that's what that's all about. But I did want to make note of. There's three books that everybody in hospitality should have. Okay, and they're writing back at me. I don't know if people really even paid attention to this, but for some weeks now, I've put books in back of me, and these are from hospitality professionals that I respect. I have a lot of respect for, and I just added a third one. So there was two books for months. The Hotel Revenue Bible by Brooke Bruce Jordan. Okay, I have Hospitality from Within by Sarah Dandashi, and then I just added this one, The Presence Driven Leader by Victor Simmons. I just put this one on there last week. Okay, so these are three books that every hospitality professional should have. Okay, if you're like a manager, you're on that upward climb. I mean, or you're a seasoned veteran. These are books that you need to read. You need to check out. Okay, so and these are the good thing about all these people that wrote these books, these authors, I know them. Okay, so I have three books and they're three signed copies, right? So I appreciate them reaching out, or not reaching out, or giving me a book, and they signed them. I appreciate that, right? So there you go. So these things are not just there for decoration, okay? So some people were like, "Oh my God, this is family." Blah, blah. Yeah, there may be some family stuff on there. There may be some other books on there, but of course, I'm all about hospitality, 100% about hospitality. So I want to make sure you give credit where credit's due, or pay homage to those people that have written these books, good friends of mine. So yeah, there you go. And it's women's, was it International Women's Month? So, or I guess it was International Women's Day the other day, but I think let's celebrate the whole month. Let's just celebrate the whole month. And then Sarah Dandashi is one of those women in hospitality. Okay, so there you go. There you go. In fact, if you haven't followed these people, if you don't follow them on LinkedIn, please do so. Sarah Dandashi, Victor Simmons, as well as Bruce Jordan. Okay, so make sure you follow them on every social media platform, but specifically LinkedIn. Okay, there you go. So let me see. So last week, I think I told you guys. I'm not sure if I told you guys that I had injured myself. Well, I'm feeling a lot better. So thanks for people that kind of reached out to me and made that thought it was funny. Well, it was funny how it happened, if you really think about it. But that pain wasn't funny. With a torn hamstring, or not a torn, but a severely sprained hamstring. So I did go to the doctor, and they said it can take up to 6 weeks to fully heal. And I'm like, wow. But I'm feeling a lot better. I've been out doing things probably things I shouldn't be doing, but starting to gradually get back into the swing of things. So any appointments that I had to like the lunch appointment I had with Miss Debbie Vale last week that I had to postpone. Debbie Vale is with Visit Pasadena. That's the CVB, Convention and Visitors Bureau in Pasadena, California, which is right outside of Los Angeles. I was supposed to have lunch with her last week, but I had to cancel because I had a doctor's appointment. So to determine what was going on with my hamstring. So they determined a 6 week process for the most part, and I get some physical therapy out of it. Okay, so not that I really wanted to do that, but you know what? In order to feel better, to get better, for it to heal, I have to do it, right? You got to do what the doctor tells you to do. So, but anyway, there you go. So, Debbie, we'll be rescheduling that. Not this week, of course. That's like next week. Next week, I'm gonna reach out to you. I'll reach out in touch. So there you go. So there you go. There you go. So I think I'm caught up on everything. So we're gonna start the show. So I'm gonna do the intro right now. Then we'll come back and the show will start. And how long was the intro? The intro is about a minute and 10 seconds. Okay, so bear with me. But anyway, make sure you can, if you have chat, I mean, if you have anything to say. I see Miss All About the Experiences, Miss Cheryl. Miss Cheryl. Anyway, thank you for joining on on Instagram. Appreciate that. Let us know where you are, Cheryl. See, some people don't pay attention. So when you chime in, let us know where you're chiming in from. Not, not your address or anything like that. Just the city that you're chiming in from. I would appreciate it. So anyway, let me get started on the intro, and then we'll come back, and then the show will start. So give me 1 minute and about 10 seconds. Hey, Russell of Hotels, once again going live for that show on air with Russell of Hotels. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much. Today is Tuesday. It's show number 335. Yeah, who would have thought that I would do 335 shows, let alone one show? Okay, just one show. Who would have thought I would have done one show? But it's that one show has turned into 334 more shows. So I appreciate everybody that has been supporting me over the years. I do. People that, every now and then they tune in, and, you don't have to tune in all the time. I appreciate it. I see DeAnthony Langston. What's going on? Shout out to DeAnthony. Thank you so much for joining. Let us know where you're tuning in from, if you wouldn't mind. If that's here locally, let us know the city that you're in. I just want to give you a shout out. That's all I want to do, because that's what I do, right? So whoever chimes in, make sure you let me know what city you are chiming in from, and that way I can give you a proper shout out. And I just want to know where people are coming from, or where they are at the moment. So I appreciate that. So yeah, so 335 shows. I remember back in the day, started at LA Talk Radio. They have where you can do podcasts and all that, and that was a traditional podcast. It was not, the video, because Facebook Live came out later after I had started, right? And this goes back to 2019 is when I started. And damn, we're at 2026 now. Isn't that something? So yeah, so man, and you had to come in, like if I was interviewing someone, you would have to come in and have a conversation, because I remember Cheryl came in. Cheryl actually came in from San Diego to come in and do my show, which I really appreciate. So Shout out to Cheryl Rogers for coming in from San Diego to do my show back in the day. But now you can do it remote. So wherever you are, it doesn't matter. Um, you can be right next to me, or you can be, on the other side of the world, which I've, people from Europe I've done. In fact, last week I did a podcast with Miss Paula C. She's in Brazil. You know what I mean? So it's just, technology is something else, and technology works. It happens so quickly, right? So, hey, what's going on, Jackie Riley? Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you making your comments. Appreciate you. Where you located? I need to know that. See, what people don't realize, they don't listen, right? I say, if you come on, I need to know where you are. I appreciate the hey cousin. I appreciate all that. But what city are you in? Okay, because I need to know where people are in this world. Okay, and other people want to know that too. So, but anyway, I appreciate that. Keep the comments coming. Keep the chats coming. So let's get this party started. So every time I do a show, every time I do a show, oh, she's in Las Vegas. Okay, see, let's see. I can put that on the screen. See, there you go. Fabulous Las Vegas. See, I appreciate that. Appreciate you, Jackie, for telling us where you are, where you're located. So she's in fabulous Las Vegas. I don't know how fabulous it is, but that's okay. If that's what it is, that's what it is. Let's see. I'm just looking at something. I'm getting these emails, okay? So getting these emails from I'm getting copied on these emails, and it's a group, right? A group, actually my family reunion. Okay, I booked that, right? So that's going to be in July 24th through 26th, and just got an email from someone saying that, because part of the family reunion, we do bowling night. The first night is devoted to bowling, getting the family together, and separate teams and all that stuff. I don't know how they get paired up, but anyway, but it's a lot of fun, right? So now comes the time when you plan these things. People are asking for money. You know what I mean? Well, we need a credit card for this. We need a credit card. I'm like, okay, well, you got a credit card to put down? I mean, come on now. But anyway, so yeah, Hilton Garden Inn. Is that where you work, Jackie? Okay, shout out to Hilton Garden Inn, Las Vegas City Center. Okay, there you go. That's what I'm talking about, right? Another hospitality professional in the family. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? So anyway, okay, I will always do. We're not dedicated. We're not. I'm not showcasing that hotel. But if you know what, if you invite me out there, check out that hotel. I'll take photos, all that stuff, and I will come back on my show and showcase that hotel. See, I'll never showcase a hotel that I've never been to, meaning I'll mention it, but I'll never like put photos up and all that stuff, because you gotta keep your integrity in count, so intact. So, but when I do the shows, every hotel that I show, I've actually been there. I've actually experienced it. Okay, but I appreciate that, Jackie. We will make sure that next time I'm in Vegas, providing you're still there, I'll have to stop by. I'll have to stop by and take some photos, because you know what? To me, it's all about the hotel. I don't care what the hotel is. I don't care what the brand is. If I stay there, it's worthy of showing it on air with Russell of hotels. Okay, so don't think because some people are like, oh, the Hilton Garden Inn. Hey, you know what? That's a brand. It's a major brand, and it's a hotel that I've stayed in many Hilton Garden Inns. Okay, and depending on what you're in town for, or what you're doing, sometimes those hotels are a lot better because they're in and out, right? They're not as big as some of the other hotels, and especially when it comes to Vegas, right? Depending on where this hotel is located, Vegas can be it can consume a lot of people, right? And sometimes I would rather have something that's simple, away from everything, then that way you can get in and out, no issues, no big deal. And I'm not a big, as far as, I don't need a big casino and all that kind of stuff. I'm really not that guy. But sometimes we got to do what we got to do. It just depends on what's going on. Depends on who's inviting me, right? So, but no, I appreciate the Hilton Gardens of the worlds too. Okay, Speaking of, okay, the hotel I'm showcasing today is the Courtyard by Marriott in Old Town, Pasadena. I've actually been there, actually experienced that. And a good friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, Miss Natalie Finzi Gibson, is the director of sales and marketing there. In fact, Natalie and I used to work together. I was the general manager and hired her as my first director of sales and marketing that I've ever had, right? Because I became a general manager, promoted from being a director of sales and marketing. So I needed to replace myself, right? And Natalie was the first person in my role as a general manager. She was my first director of sales and marketing hire. So we still keep in touch. That was a long time ago. We still keep in touch. We're still good friends. And I was at her hotel. It's been a couple months ago, but I still need to go back out there and see her. Maybe lunch or whatever. But I have to have lunch with Debbie Vale before I can have lunch with Natalie now. Sorry, Natalie. Sorry. But anyway, that's the hotel I'm showcasing today. And let's see what other comments did. We're number 9 on. Oh, okay. Let me put this up here. Okay. We're number 9 on TripAdvisor out of 265 hotels in Las Vegas. Okay, Hilton Garden Inn. Okay, Hilton Garden Inn is making some noise over there. Okay, so they're making some noise in Vegas. That's huge. I mean, that's huge. Number 9 out of 265 hotels. That's pretty damn good. So, congratulations to the Hilton Garden Inn. Say, you never know what to expect when you watch On Air with Russell of Hotels. Who would have known that this information was going to be coming up? Who would have known that my cousin still worked with her for a hotel? I mean, I knew she worked for one before, but I didn't know she was still working at a hotel. So, there you go. I just you just don't know. You just don't know, right? So anyway, let's get back to, so this is the bar area of that hotel of the let me move this out of the way now. Let me move this out of the way. Hey. So this is the bar area, and it's just a little snapshot of the bar area at the Courtyard in Old Town, Pasadena. But very nice, very small, very quaint. 300 and how many rooms did I say it was? 314 rooms. So it's a good size hotel for a Courtyard, because back in the day when I first started with Courtyard, they were typically about 150 rooms. Okay. And then came, you started buying, other hotel companies or management companies or individual owners started buying these and buying property, buying hotels, and then they would throw, the Courtyard by Marriott name on it. And they came in all shapes and sizes at one point. So the original, I guess, the original design of a Courtyard was about 150 rooms. But because, when you start buying hotels and you say, I'm going to buy this hotel and I'm going to take the name of the existing name and put a Courtyard on there, right? Courtyard sign or whatever. We're going to brand it a Marriott Courtyard. And then it started coming in all sizes, right? So hence why you have a 314 room. And there used to be, I'm not sure, let's see. I mean, it's probably, I'm trying to think of the largest. The one in Marina Del Rey is not there anymore, but it was 200. It was almost 300 rooms as well. And so it wasn't your typical Courtyard, but whatever you put the name on there, then it's going to be a Courtyard or whatever it's going to be. But I love this hotel. I love the area. It's in Old Town. I love the design. I love the decor. Easy to get in and out. They have meeting space, about 4,100 square feet of meeting space. So not real big, but that's okay. So depending on the size of the group, there you go. And depending on where you need to be in Pasadena, there you go. So once again, shout out to Natalie. She's a director of sales and marketing there. So if you need anything at that particular hotel, just reach out to Natalie and say, hey, Russell of Hotels sent me to you. So there you go. So this is a guest room, one of the rooms. This is on the first floor. This one overlooks or opens up into the patio. Pools out there. There's fire pits. There's seating. There's a lot of stuff going on out there, right outside the door. So you can see the sliding door right there. This is in the lobby. Kind of, say you had an impromptu meeting. You got everybody's meeting together, and they have this big meeting, that they have to go do a presentation, and then you got like 7 people and they need to meet in some place and they don't want to pay for the meeting space. Well, this is in the lobby, right? So you can take over this. TV is right next to you on the right side of that. This opens up into the courtyard area as well. But very, very nice hotel. Very nice hotel. And that's the pool area. Not a large area. The deck is large, but the pool area is not as big. But you got kids, family. You come hang out there for a little bit. Come hang out. And this is the meeting space. And this is actually opens up. This is actually two rooms. I don't know if you can see the divider at the top of the wall, but this separates into two rooms. Right now, set up for some rounds of I think about eight. Was it one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight people, something like that. So not a lot of space, but enough space, if that makes sense. Not a lot of space, but enough space. And this is the lobby area. I'm not sure who that guy is right there, but he's down there looking like he's busy. So I was like, let me take a picture of this guy. Because it's always good to get, you want to scale, where you are, right? So you want to put somebody in there to say, oh, okay, all right, I understand how big that is, or the area or whatever. So but like I said, very nice hotel. And this is the same guest room that I showed you, but you can see kind of the size of the room. The bed, you can see the foot of the bed right there, right? And that's a working desk that a lot of hotels have, but you can see how much space you have. You have a refrigerator right there as well to your right. So just a coffee maker as well. So good size room. Like I said, it's a first floor room. And so there you go. So that is the Courtyard Marriott in Old Town Pasadena. So the topic for the day, and normally I do have a topic. Let me check over here on Instagram real quick to see if there's anybody else. Ask me about Ask 28 Me. Okay, that's Andrew. Hey Andrew. Andrew's out there in Italy. See that no one is telling me where they are, but I just happen to know where they are. Okay, so Andrew's in Italy. He's in Ancona, Italy. I used to call it Anconia, but no, it's Ancona. So Andrew goes back and forth. Like in the summer, he comes out and spend several months here in Los Angeles because that's where he's from, and he's actually a neighbor. And then the rest of the year, he lives in Italy. Okay, so what what kind of life is that? Must be his life sucks, right? So but yeah, so I appreciate you coming on, Andrew. I always have to have something to say, but no, he's in Ancona, Italy. So there you go. So that's the reach, right? That is the reach of Russell of Hotels. Doesn't matter where you are in this world. I'm gonna find you, okay, or you're gonna find me, maybe. So anyway, so let's get to the topics. And this show's not gonna last that long today because I'm already at the topics, right? And shout out to everybody that's at SMU conference. SMU conference is in Los Angeles. It's in New York, Manhattan. It's at what hotel is it at? Gosh darn it, the Marriott. Is it the Marriott Times Square? I want to say the Marriott Times Square. So shout out to SMU. That's an international conference that's put on by North Star. A lot of people know North Star. And that's one of my favorites. Okay, let me just throw that out there. North Star is one of my favorite, if not my one of my favorites. I'm saying it is my favorite. Not one of them. It is my favorite. And SMU is one of those. It's an international conference, so you get a lot of people, a lot of attendees from other countries. I remember Australia, I think New Zealand. Then you have all the European countries were there as well. And then you of course hotels within the United States, and then like the Caribbean island countries. Oh, it's just a lot. There's a lot going on. I mean, it's oh man, I remember it was Korea. Korea did something. Was it South Korea? They did. Man, the food was good. They had the non-meat eats. Okay, so they do a good job with that. They ask for your dietary needs and restrictions before you go, and they do a great job of that because a lot of these shows I go to, they don't. The food comes across as an afterthought, and when you first see it, was this something that's planned or was like, oh, we forgot. Let's throw this on this plate. But they did a great job. And when I mentioned South Korea, they did a great job because it was like it was like for everyone else, they had like the Korean beef, like the barbecue beef kind of thing. But they what they did for someone like a vegan option, they made like a mushroom, like a portobello mushroom, but it was prepared the same way as they would prepare the Korean beef. So it had the same seasonings, the same spices, the same sauce, whatever. Man, that was probably one of the, as far as hotels go, I have to say this. This was probably one of the best meals I've ever had for a lunch. Okay. It's in the top two. Top two. Okay. I'm not sure if it's number one. It's probably close, but I'm gonna say the top two meals I've ever had, vegan meals I've ever had at a hotel, in banquets, or at a function like this. That was one of the top two, and that was at the New York Marquee. Is that what it's called? It's called the Marriott Marquis. Marriott Marquis in Times Square. There you go. So, man, everything revolves around food for me. I don't know if you guys figured that out, but everything kind of revolves around food. Feel free to make comments. The chat is open, so make sure you do that. But always make sure you let me know where you're located, just so I can give you a shout out and say, hey, I've never been there, or oh, I've been there. Oh, this is great, or that's great, or whatever. So anyway, topic: 5 keys to a successful site visit. Now, where did this come from? Every time I have one of these topics, it stemmed from somewhere. So, and last week, I'm not sure if maybe you did. On Mondays, Miss what's her name? Tiffany English comes on. Okay. So, and we talk about different things, and she was sharing her experience having a site tour, kind of a last minute site tour with she was on a cruise I can't remember where was it? She was on a cruise, right? A Caribbean cruise, and she took it upon herself to say, hey, I want to, it was in Grand Cayman, so one of the ports was Grand Cayman Island. So she wanted to see one of the hotels there, which ended up being the Kempton Seafire Resort and Spa in Grand Cayman. So she reaches out to the director of sales and marketing, whose name happens to be Virgil Napier, and he gave her a site tour, right? So she found her way from the port to the hotel, right? Through, I guess, various forms of transportation, she said. So, but that's not the story today, right? But it was so important for her, although she was on vacation. This was 100% vacation, right? But she took it upon herself as a business owner to say, hey, let me go check out a couple of hotels, because I may have clients that are interested in Grand Cayman, and I want to see what Grand Cayman has to offer. So she went to the Kempton Seafire Resort and Spa, Grand Cayman, and was pleasantly surprised of what she found. And as if that wasn't enough, the site tour, she said, which was just planned maybe less than 24 hours in advance, the guy, Virgil, knew so much about her, knew a little bit about her programs, knew about the show that we do, the daily check-in. So, meaning he did his homework. Okay. So a lot of people don't do that. They don't take their time and do their homework on who's coming in, right? And that's some things that we should do, because believe me, people know, right? That people will know if you're interested in having their business or not. Okay. And how can you show that? By being prepared. Okay. We have LinkedIn. Everybody, for the most part, is almost on LinkedIn. If they're not on LinkedIn, well, shame on them. But most people are. So we can at least find them on LinkedIn, or do a Google search, and some things that are attached to them will pop up. Okay. So that's how this topic came up. And I said, you know what? Let's extend this conversation. Let's keep this conversation going, if you will. So that's what I'm doing today. So it has to do with 5, and I normally try to limit this to 3, but today I don't want to shortchange you today. Okay. So bear with me. We're going to get through it. 5 keys to a successful site visit from the sales associate's perspective. Okay. So what that person should be doing. Okay. Now, remember, some people are like, well, what do you know about that? Well, damn it. Let me tell you. I used to be on that side, right? I talked about me being a director of sales and marketing. Well, I can't be a director of sales and marketing without being a sales manager. Okay. So I came up as housekeeping manager trainee back in the day, housekeeping manager, front office, some food and beverage, then went to a full service hotel and was a um, night manager, AGM, finally got into sales, all that stuff. Okay. So I don't want to go through every single thing, but I've been to 14 different hotels. Okay. I'll just say that. Let's leave it at that. So once again, 5 keys to a successful site visit from the hotel side. This is what the hotel should be doing. Okay. Can I say that? I don't know if I should. Well, I said it. I can't take it back now. So number one, know the client. Do your research before the visit. Okay. Don't wait and like, oh, let me just ask a bunch of questions. No, know a little bit about, impress the client, right? Do your homework and say, hey, I understand you've been working with this company 20 years. Oh my God. How's that been? They're like, oh my God, he knows that or she knows that. I mean, ask questions, ask probing questions. Don't just yes, no, okay, maybe so. No, ask probing questions. Ask about that. How's it been? Did you plan? Have you always planned meetings? Was this something that you always wanted to do or whatever? Tell us a little bit more about your program. I know you have, you just met at XYZ Hotel, a couple of years ago. Is this an annual program? Yeah, like who are these attendees? I know you're going to bring, I mean, you normally have like 250, but what is the makeup of these? Whatever the questions are, ask some questions so they know that you're interested in this potential group, right? So know the client before the site visit even begins. The hotel should understand who the client is, the type of program they're hosting, their budget expectations, attendee profile, and what success looks like for them. Ask the question, okay? What does success look like? What's your idea of a successful meeting? I mean, these are things you can ask as you're walking, right? It's going to be you and whoever this planner is. Maybe you have one other person with it, or maybe they'll have somebody else with them. That's fine, but make sure you're offering water, before you walk, and have a plan, right? Don't just willy-nilly go here, go there. What I used to do is there was one particular direction I would always go. Okay. Um, and one thing that I always did, and I always made sure I told my sales managers this because I had to follow this, right? Is to before you show your client, you walk the space. Before you walk the space with the client, you walk the space before the client gets there, right? Because you want to make sure there's nothing, any, trash or any litter, anything out of place, maybe some construction going on, or maybe not necessarily construction, but some work that maintenance is doing or engineering is doing, whatever, because you want to stay clear of that stuff, right? Is there, heavy dish up going on? I mean, make sure you avoid those areas if there's things that are going on, operational things that are going on that may interfere with the site tour. Okay. But make sure the doors, the key cards that you have, they actually unlock the door. Make sure no one's checked into those showrooms because sometimes, it happens, right? Things happen, right? That we get showrooms every morning. Yeah, okay, we get the keys and everything. But did they check the keys? Did anybody check into there? The showrooms were issued at 8 o'clock. Your appointment's at 1. Did anybody get checked into those rooms? Make sure we check those rooms or check with the front desk and then go physically check the room. Okay. Doom, 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 doom. Sales, open the door, make sure there's no one in. Because believe me, I walked in my career at 14 different hotels. I couldn't tell you how many times I walked in on a guest that just checked in. Oh, I just checked in. Like, oh my God, how's the room? You play it out. We just want to make sure the room's okay, and then you call and get another room, right? Or go back to the front desk and get another showroom. But make sure that happens because no one wants to be embarrassed along with a client, okay? But it does happen. Believe me, it happens more than I care to mention. So, but anyway, I forgot to mention this. Okay. A site visit is one of the most important parts of a hotel selection process. It gives planners the opportunity to experience the property and determine whether it is the right fit for their program. But a successful site visit is not about showing everything in the hotel. It's about showing the right things for the client. Okay, so make sure we know what the client wants to see. Because I remember clients would tell me, I don't want to see this, I want to see that. Meaning, we don't care about the pool area because they don't have time for that. I'm like, okay, then we're not going to show the pool, right? We only want to see the room that this group will fit into. They don't want to see the extra stuff. We're not doing breakouts for this program, so I don't want to see breakouts. They would tell you, I don't want to see the spa if you have a spa, right? They would tell you exactly what they want to see. Now, there's some clients that maybe they just want to see the lay of the hotel, layout of the hotel, and they want to see everything. Okay, that's fine. Structure it that way, but ask them up front. Do what would they like to see? Okay. Number two, and it just goes into what I just said. Customize the site tour. No two groups are the same. Every group is not want to see every damn thing that you have to show. Just because everybody like, oh, we just renovated our hotel. We want to show this. No, the client may not want to see that. They may not have time for that shit. I mean, that stuff. Excuse me. Let's see. I see a comment here. Let's see. All about the experience. Blah, blah, blah. Love site visits when other groups are in house. There you go. You get to see you get to experience it firsthand, right? What's going on? How the staff is taking care of that group. So Cheryl made a good comment. She said loves site visits when other groups are in house. And she also said you get to see the flow of how that hotel is working. Just did a site and it was tailored to exactly what I needed. She just said this. She said a tailored site tour, meaning it was customized, right? Just like I said, number two, customize the site visit. No two groups are the same. Okay. What Cheryl groups want is different than what another group would want. I see another comment. Let's see. Knowledge is power. Thank you so much, Miss Janie. Janie says, knowledge is power. Yes, it is. So make sure you share as much information as you can about your hotel, and ask the question so they can share their knowledge with you, right? Ask the question of that planner, wherever you're doing the site tour with, then that way you're on the same page. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so number two, customize the site visit. No two groups are the same. The site visit should focus on the spaces the client actually requested for their meeting or event. Not every room in the hotel, okay? Just because you have, I have 10 types of hotel rooms, right? Or guest rooms. They don't need to see all 10, okay? What's important to that group? Oh, we need, 3 suites for our executive committee. Okay, just 3, and then the other ones are standard, a standard king and standard double. Okay, we don't need to see the deluxe. We don't need to see all this. We won't see the one with the balconies and all that. The one that got the jacuzzis on the balcony. They want, and be specific. Ask them specifically. Okay, we have this. No, this is what I want to see. I want to see 3 types of rooms for my VIPs, the 3 VIPs, and then just 2 standard, the standard king and the standard double, because we may have some people that are going to room together. Okay, boom, there you go. If that's what they ask for, that's what you show them. Okay, don't just because we just renovated, the lounge on the top floor. Well, if they're not going to go to the lounge on the top floor, then don't show it to them. And they're going to tell you what they want to see. Okay. And Cheryl just mentioned that. Cheryl's a seasoned meeting professional. And I wish Cheryl was on Facebook or LinkedIn. Then that way I can show you her comments. I can't get her comments over here because she's on Instagram. Okay. So, but that's okay. That's all right. PMA 911. PMA 911. I'm not sure who that is, but hey, thank you so much, PMA 911. Appreciate that. That sounds familiar, but we'll see who that is. Maybe he'll let me know who that is. And make sure, hey, Cynthia, I see Cynthia Camacho from hometown, big town. Make sure you guys let us know where you are tuning in from. I can't even speak today. Let us know where you are. Where are you in this world? Okay. Let me know, please. And I'll let everyone else know. I'll let the whole world know. So, okay. Once again, number 2 was customize the site visit. I just went over that. Number 3. And I have 5 today. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Respect the client's time. Time is valuable, right? It's valuable for them, it's valuable for you. You got things that go on too, right? So make sure we respect the client's time. That's where we come into this um trying to show them everything. Okay. I remember working at the Bonaventure. Okay. I worked at the Westin Bonaventure, which is a 1,300 room hotel, 110,000 square feet of meeting space, right? Now, it took literally at least an hour and a half to do a tour there. Okay. Now, if the client didn't have that kind of time, we don't want to just be wasting time because it's a lot of walking, a lot of things to see, right? It's like going to Disneyland for the most part. There's so many different guest rooms, so much meeting space. What do they want to see? So I had to make sure we knew what they wanted to see. And of course, you want to send out um, what is it called? A site inspection letter, I mean, a email to everyone knowing that this is what's going on because everyone needs to know. Everybody needs to know there's a site tour going on. Everybody, your general manager, if you're the sales manager, your director of sales, of course, your front office, engineering, housekeeping, everyone, restaurant, food and beverage, everyone needs to know what you're going to be looking at, what time it is, who you're showing, how many people, if they're going to be dining with you, all those different things they need to know. And general managers, when you're doing the tour, when your sales manager is doing a tour, you need to make sure you go by and say hello. Okay. That carries so much weight. Okay. Make sure you let the general manager know that, hey, I have a tour and we're going to end with lunch in the restaurant at 1:30, around 1:30. Can you make sure you're there to meet the client or just say hello? I mean, just a quick hello, how are you? I'm Russell Edmond. I'm the general manager. Here's my card. If you need anything, you're in good hands with this person or whatever, whoever this person is. But if you need anything at all, please don't, hesitate to call me, email me. We look forward to doing business with you or working with you, or whatever the heck it is, whatever spiel happens to be, make sure we do it because that, believe me, that carries a lot of weight. When I was a general manager, I got ticked off at my salespeople if they didn't let me know that there was something going on because I wanted to make sure I was there to meet or talk to the client, or at least, like I said, at least say hello, introduce myself, and offer my card or any whatever, So you have to do that. Okay. This A general manager, they have to do it. I was going to say they're an extension of the sales department, and then they can be, and they should be, right? So, but all he or she has to do is just come by and say hello. That's it. But that carries a lot of weight. In case you did not know that, it does. Okay. So let's see. Did I see anything else? Any other comments? Nope, 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 nope. So okay. So where are we? Number 3, respect the client's time. Time is valuable. A great site visit focuses on relevant meeting space, guest rooms, and amenities that support the program instead of showing areas that have nothing to do with the event. Okay. Like I said, it goes back to if they don't have time to see the pool, they don't want to see it, don't show them the pool. The spa, they don't have time for that. They're there for this. Okay. They're there for these things. They're going to be in and out. Now, some groups will say, oh, yeah, we want to see this. We want to see that. But that's up to the client, right? Tailor it, like Miss Cheryl said, tailor it for the client. It's not about you, not about the hotel. This is 100% about the client. Okay. And their time. So respect their time. And if they have time, and I didn't mention this, but this is another important thing. If they have time, ask them if they have time for lunch. If they're there for lunch, make sure you ask them, do they have time for lunch? Okay. Then that way they can experience what's going on firsthand, either lunch or break, whatever, meal period, whatever. They can experience that as well. They can experience the food as well as the service aspect of it. But the busier the hotel is, they can see firsthand like what's going on, like, okay, how they handle this, how this being handled, because they picture either themselves there or the group, right? They're picturing the group. Okay, these are things that my group would have to experience as well. Okay, so just remember that. Just remember. Number 4, I think that leads into what I just said. Demonstrate service and responsiveness. Yeah. So if they do have time for lunch, make sure you dine them as well. How does team perform during a site tour? Yeah, like I said, make sure everyone knows, everyone's on the same page. You send out is it called a resume? What is it called? A group tour resume? I can't remember what we called them, but basically, it was an email sent to everyone. And we mentioned it in stand up or in our staff meetings or whatever that this tour, the site tour, was going on. So it was all hands on deck. Everyone knew this was going on. Okay, so let's just make sure we're doing that. So if you invite them to lunch and they, take advantage of that, yeah, that's going to demonstrate service and responsiveness, as well as if it's a busy day, maybe you don't have time to look at, or it's so busy that you can only peek into the meeting space. Well, they can see what's going on. They can see the flow of the meeting. They can see the service stuff. Oh, the group's at lunch. This is a perfect time. Maybe you can peek in and see how lunch is being served. All that kind of stuff, right? So a busy hotel is actually good to show, because some people shy away from that. Oh no, we're busy. We got like 10 groups in. We don't have time for a site tour. That's the best time for a site tour because they get to see hands-on what the heck is going on. So don't shy away from because we're too busy. No, you're not the one servicing the group. Okay. So show the group to somebody, another prospective client. Okay. And I'm sure it will go well. If you have a lot of confidence in your hotel and your team, oh yeah, you welcome that opportunity to do it when the house is sold out, that all the meeting space is gone. Oh, we got people, managers helping in dish up because it's so busy. That's what I love, right? So anyway, demonstrate service and responsiveness. How does team perform during a site tour? That's a good thing. Number five, and this is the last one. Follow up after the visit. The site doesn't end when the tour is over. That's one thing that we forget to do. We have to make sure we follow up even after a site tour, right? Okay, so we've given this site, we've had lunch, they go back, and let's say that was on a Friday. Well, come Monday, we need to follow up and say, hey, Miss Meeting Planner, how was the site tour? What'd you think? Is there anything else I can do for you? Would you like your boss or your client to come in and take a look at the hotel? Can I show it again? Was there anything that you didn't see that you may have questions about that you may want to look at again? I mean, always offer those things because you don't know who else is involved in this process of selecting your hotel. So but you have to follow up. So you have to follow up. You just can't wait. Well, they never called me back. You know, hello. Remember, you're in sales, okay? Salespeople, we have to be proactive. We don't just react to things. We have to proactive. We have to shake the trees and see what falls out. Okay. So let's just make sure that we're following up because that's part of the sales process. And in this case, it's part of the site tour, right? Knowing what the next step is. Maybe they said, well, we've selected another hotel. Okay, that's fine. At least you have some closure. Well, you can close that door and like, okay, well, the hell with this. What do you mean? You're looking at another hotel? You didn't tell me that. Always assume they're looking at other hotels, okay? Always assume they're looking at other hotels, all right? And ask. Duh, I forgot to say this. Well, no, I guess that kind of led into this. Yeah, make sure you ask them, are you considering other hotels? Then that way you know the lay of the land, you know how to position yourself and position your hotel to hopefully get that piece of business, right? Oh, I know that hotel. Oh, that's a great hotel. But and then kind of say that's a great hotel. Never, oh, that hotel sucks. You're really considering that hotel? That's the worst thing you can do. Okay. Some people do it too. I mean, I may be saying it as a joke, but some people will do that. They will badmouth the competition, like, "Oh, that's a great hotel. Oh, I know Joe Smith over there. He's the director of sales and marketing. Yeah, we went to school together. Blah 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 blah." But and just make sure you're talking up your hotel, right? Don't badmouth them. Talk up yours. Okay, that's the key, right? So because you always have to assume that they're looking at other hotels, and it could be at a hotel in another city. It doesn't necessarily have to be your your immediate competition, meaning in your neighborhood or in your same city or whatever, sometimes, a lot of times they're considering other destinations as well. So just be mindful of that, but you will never know unless you ask that question. Ask those questions. Ask probing questions, questions that you're going to get a response from. Okay. There you go. There you go. And the last thing on this, boom. A successful site tour isn't about showing everything, it's about showing the right things for the client. So, once again, it goes back to finding out exactly what they want to see. Okay. And then go from there. All right. So, but you have to ask those questions. You cannot just assume that, oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, no, no. And of course, someone's at my door. Am I going to open the door? No, I can't because I'm doing a show right now. So, we're almost done here. We're almost done. Let's see. Who's hiring? Who's hiring? Oh, that's UPS. I can hear the truck, right? So I'm not sure if you guys heard that, but there was a someone's at the door. I heard the doorbell, and then after you hear the doorbell, then I hear the truck start up, and I know that's like UPS or Amazon or FedEx or whoever, one of them. Anyway, not that you wanted to hear that, but or you cared, but that was where my thought was. So I had to let you know. Let me just make sure there are no other comments here. Do nope, no other comments. So I have to go back and forth. Just in case you didn't know, I have to go back and forth between LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay, so they're all on one screen. Okay, and then Instagram is on its own. So I have to keep going back and forth. I can't have them both open at the same time. So I have to click back and forth to make sure, there's to see if there's any comments or anyone else has joined. It's actually a process, right? But I've mastered it, so it's okay. In fact, you would not have known that that's what I'm doing unless I told you. So anyway, who's hiring? Real quick, Embassy Suites Valencia. They're looking for director of sales. Now, Valencia, for people outside of Los Angeles, and these positions are in the greater LA area, or greater Los Angeles area. Embassy Suites Valencia. Valencia is near well, that's where Magic Mountain, Six Flags Magic Mountain is actually located in Valencia. So that's where this is. Okay. In fact, I told somebody about this position, somebody that just told me like last week they're looking for a director of sales. He's a senior salesperson now. And he said, I'm looking forward to being a director of sales. He said, let me know if there's any opportunities out there. And I happened to see this and I reached out to him and said, hey, Valencia, the Embassy Suites Valencia is looking for a director of sales. He's like, oh my God, I didn't know that. I'm gonna take a look at it. I'm like, okay, cool. So there you go. Lake Tahoe Proper Resort and Casino. I didn't even know there was a proper hotel in Lake Tahoe. They're looking for a director of sales and marketing. So the proper hotel, I guess just the proper resort and casino in Lake Tahoe, they're looking for a director of sales and marketing. I bet that's a wonderful property too. I can just imagine. The Marriott Burbank or the Burbank Marriott, they're looking for a director of sales and marketing. I know they've been looking for probably a couple of weeks. I've seen that. Omni Hotel and Resorts, they're looking for a national sales manager. Now, I think this is the parent company. They're looking for a national sales manager. It's a hybrid position, so which means you can work from home, I guess. There you go, or home and on property. And then the Omni Hotel downtown Los Angeles, they're looking for a group sales manager. There you go. And then Andaz and WeHo, that means West Hollywood. They're looking for a group and transient senior sales manager. Transient and group. That means group 10 rooms or more. And then transient, I guess that can be leisure transient, I guess. Or can it be business transient? Whatever. Anything single rooms. Okay. So group 10 rooms or more, transient single rooms, not attached to a group. That's basically what that means. So they're looking for a sales manager. Okay. And then Homewood, Hampton Inn, and Long Beach Airport, or at Long Beach Airport, they're looking for a director of sales. So there you go. That is it. So I think that's about it. Like I said, we got to it on today, right? So I appreciate the comments. I appreciate people chiming in. all about the experiences. That's Miss Cheryl, DeAnthony Langston, Real Run. You know DeAnthony Langston. Let me do this real quick. DeAnthony, I've known him for a good 20 years, right? So he started this as a what is it called? A summer pro basketball league in Carson back in the day, right? Where he had all this top talent come and play basketball. You know, in the summer when the league is over, like NBA is over, and they're in their summer break, I guess, before the season starts again. He would have summer league basketball, right? And I got a chance to meet a lot of people, a lot of these like Paul Pierce and I can Baron Davis and a lot of these athletes, a lot of these professional Tony Gonzalez, a lot of these and Tony Gonzalez played football, right? But a lot of people don't know that he played two sports in college, right? He went to Cal and played basketball and football. Well, in order for him to stay in shape, or how one of the ways he stayed in shape for football is that he played basketball. And I met him. I mean, so I got a chance to meet a lot of these people. Well, fast forward to like maybe the last 10 years ago, when this traveling basketball and all this stuff became a big thing, and he had a couple of traveling basketball teams. Well, they traveled all around the United States, right? So my job was he would call me and said, "Hey, we're going to Atlanta, we're going to DC, we're going, Virginia, we're going to New York. Do you have any can you find hotels for us out there?" I'm like, "That's what I do." Right. So those relationships, like I said, I've known DeAnthony for 20 something years. Right. So whenever they need for his traveling basketball teams, whenever they need hotel rooms, he calls me. Right. And it all started when I was at director of sales and marketing at the Hilton in Carson. Okay. And that was the only hotel for the most part in that area, right, in Carson. So they would automatically gravitate to the hotel. So we would, give rooms to, some of the athletes and all that kind of stuff. Well, that stuff is that now it's paying dividends today, right? So so you don't know 20 years from now, you don't know what the heck's gonna be happening, right? So yeah, so 20 something years ago, I met him and did all those things, right? And now I'm kind of reaping the rewards of that. Like I said, he'll reach out to me and say, "Hey, I need this, I need that. Can you get us some rooms here? I need 15 rooms here. I need 30 rooms here." I'm like, "Damn, dude, okay." And now he's been doing international stuff as well. I haven't done anything for him internationally yet, but he's doing a lot of things internationally. So, and I book international. I just haven't booked for him. But so that's how it starts. So you never know what's going to happen in the future. So you have to keep, those clients, those relationships matter. People don't think, well, that happened to you, it's not going to happen to me. Well, you don't know. So maintain those relationships, because you just never know where they're going to end up. So, and he's a good friend now, right? He just called me. We call each other just out of the blue, like, just to catch up now. Like, "Hey, what's going on? I ain't heard from you. Blah, blah, blah." Boom. He didn't have to need anything to call. And I don't have to need anything for me to call him, right? So, like I said, it's gotten from a professional relationship, still professional, right? When I have to find something for him, but it's we've grown to be friends, and that's a good thing, right? So just once again, today's client or yesterday's client can be tomorrow's friend, or yesterday's client could be today's client, right? And friend, right? You just don't know, right? So just keep it going. Maintain those relationships. Relationships are important. That's why you follow up, right? You call people, you reach out to them, you remember their family. Maybe you remember birthdays. His birthday, and I remember his birthday because it's like Christmas, right? It's Christmas Eve or something. It's Christmas Eve, right? Mine is the 23rd, his is the 24th. So I always remember that, right? So there you go. So, man, I can go on and on and on about, what us as salespeople should do, right? But I ain't got time for all that. So anyway, I ain't got time for all that. But anyway, no, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys joining. Once again, this is no, this ain't the daily check-in. What is that coming up? This ain't the daily check-in. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. This is on air with Russell of Hotels. Where's my thing at? Do 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 do. We're about to get off of this, but I'm just trying to find something on air with Russell of Hotels. Boom, there it is. Okay, there you go. Also, I'm not sure if it's on this screen. No, it's not. Where the heck is it? So if you have questions at all, let me put the QR code up there. I don't know why it's not up there. Boom, there you go. That's a QR code. So just put your phone over that, the photo thing, like you're taking a picture, put it on there. Boom, you get all my information. You get my email address as well as my website. All that stuff is there. So if you happen to see that, that's a QR code, right? So just click on that. Boom, there you go. So that is it. So I appreciate you coming on and joining me today. I do this on air with Russell of Hotels every Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST. That means in California. And today, you know what? I was going to say this. I got this long sleeve hoodie on, right? It was cold earlier. The last couple of days had been like in the high 70s, 80s. Then all of a sudden this morning, it was cold. I'm like, dang it. And earlier, I mean, just before that I did the show, I had the door open and it was cold. So I had to put some long sleeves on. But it seems like it's getting a little warmer now. But anyway, this is, that whole Southern California weather thing, right? That's just how it is. Some days are, beautiful and sunny, and some are overcast. And today was kind of half overcast right now. I'm looking outside and it looks a little sunnier than it was earlier. So I'm gonna go outside and maybe enjoy a little bit of it. So once again, the On Air with Russell of Hotels comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. I also do a daily check-in. It comes on at well, there's no particular time, but I do it Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And if you haven't checked out, I've been doing this thing called Hospitality Unplugged. And it's basically little series of certain things. Maybe I'm talking about site tours or something related to your client, hotels, whatever the heck it is. Everything's about hospitality, right? So my career, how I started, some of the things that I deal with as a meeting planner, a meeting professional, hotel site selection, contract negotiation, all those kind of things. I put those into like kind of like short little series, right? So it can be like three or whatever, three together or whatever. So look out for those as well. It's called Hospitality Unplugged. In fact, if you follow me on LinkedIn and YouTube, they're already there. So go and check those out. If you don't follow me, meaning if we're not connected or you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do so at Russell of Hotels. If you're on Instagram, at Russell of Hotels as well. LinkedIn, Russell L. Edmond. We appreciate it, okay? And Facebook at Russell L. Edmond as well. So shout out to everybody, all the people in Blythe, all the people on Instagram that kind of came in. DeAnthony, Andrew out in Italy, Cynthia Camacho from Blythe. She's from B-Town. Cheryl, all about the experience. PMA 911. I got to look up PMA 911 and see who the heck that is. And then Jackie, I appreciate you coming on. That is it. Have a great day. And as always,